See, IPS cannot stop malware. IPS can't stop malware. The reason is IPS will see for the pattern. When the pattern matches, it approves.
Mm.
So IPS is not a tool to identify the malware which is hidden inside file.
Mm.
We need something to protect from malware. How FTP actually stops malware? Using the file policy. See,
Mm.
we already have ACP.
Mm.
In that ACP, what need to be added?
Mm.
What need to be added is the file policy
Mm.
plus AMP, which has got secured malware, analytics, and threat grid, and then cloud lookup. By doing this, we can protect from malware. Details are coming now. So these are all separate engines. So we know what is IPS. We are going to see as the next topic.
Mm.
We know what is URL filtering.
Mm.
There will be categories of URL categories. We pick the category and decide whether to be allowed or denied.
Mm.
Now, apart from this, along with this, we also need a file policy along with AMP. That is how you can protect from malware which is using files.
Mm.
Right. So first concept we need to understand is IPS is just inspecting packets,
Mm.
not the file. It is the file policy that helps to inspect the files. That's the biggest difference that we need to know. IPS inspects packets.
What is the, I mean, it's end of the day, it's all payload, right? Just the payload, right, sir?
See, there is a beginning of a file, end of the file.
Mm.
That is what a file is.
Okay.
File is made up of hundreds and thousands of packets.
Mm.
See, when you inspect packet by packet,
Mm.
you will not have an overall picture. What if the attack or distributed across multiple packets? For example, 10 people are boarding the flight.
Mm.
A small spring inside one bag. No problem. Scanning machine will allow. IPS will allow. And then a small the trigger kind of lever in another bag. It will not be even be identified as a trigger of a gun. It will be just simply seen as one metal piece. Allowed. And there is another one like a toy gun kind of cylinder that is in another bag. Oh, it's a metal cylinder. So when you dismantle the gun into parts and put it in different baggage, one with the hand baggage of the first person, another with the check-in luggage of the third person, something like that. When you distribute and 10 people board the flight, now after the flight takes off, they bring everything one by one and they put it in one place in the restroom. And now one guy collects everything and then assembles it as a gun. Can IPS stop this? No.
No. Yeah.
Because he do not know the beginning of the file, he don't know the end of the file. So he will not know what all goes together to form one gun. He is only seeing packet by packet. So IPS is not sufficient enough. IPS can be fooled. So IPS is only looking for a pattern. Is it having a cartridge of bullet with the gun shape and trigger? Then I will stop. That's the pattern it is looking for.
Mm.
But file policy is looking for the files that are transferred, not just one
Mm.
packet and the pattern in it. The entire file
Mm.
pattern, the entire file,
Mm.
how it looks.
Mm.
Here, this is signature based. Here, this is hash and reputation based.
Mm.
Meaning, if this is how it looks like, if it looks like a spring in that
Mm.
first bag, and then if it looks like a trigger in the 10th bag,
Mm.
hey, there are chances for a gun to be assembled once it
Mm.
is boarded
Mm.
into the flight. That reputation based,
Mm.
not a signature based. So this is like machine language.
Mm. Mm.
They know what this can turn into.
Yeah.
That is file policy. That is malware protection. That is how AMP works. So
Okay.
this stops exploits, meaning whatever was earlier found in a single packet. That's the maximum it can stop, and it is done by Snort engine. This is stopping the malware files. I
Mm.
want to allow a PDF without any script in it.
Mm.
If I find a script, then stop it. How do you know? Only when you have the beginning of the file to the end of the file visibility,
Mm.
you will be able to know that this is one PDF, in that there are scripts inside starting from this line to this line.
Mm.
So for this, what is needed is the file plus AMP engine. So AMP engine only can do this file policy. AMP engine.
So
Okay.
is that doing a deep packet inspection or just file
Yeah, that is the
inspections?
next topic.
Okay.
Now, where is the file policy leaves it? This is the exact question you are asking for, correct?
Okay. Mm.
Where it is? It is after our ACP. You
Mm.
see,
Mm. Mm.
um, create a file policy. Wait a minute. Create a file policy and attach to ACP rule. But when it comes, the flow is coming in the next. The packet flow is coming in the next thing. But
Mm.
what is that we need to do? We need to first create a file policy,
Mm.
and then we need to attach to our ACP, which we already created.
Mm.
We might have created by matching the source zone, destination
Mm.
zone,
Mm.
source IP destination. You might have also done natting. You might have
Mm.
also done URL filtering.
Mm.
But what you skipped is AMP. Now
Mm.
create the file policy, attach
Mm.
it. File policy never works standalone. It cannot work alone. Without fail, you have to attach it to
Mm.
ACP. So this is the mistake that we may do. We may write a
Mm.
file policy, but we might have
Mm.
forgotten to attach to a
Mm.
policy.
Correct.
Okay. Now, next thing, where the file packet inspection happens in the packet flow.
Mm.
Now, this packet is coming. There
Mm.
is a pre-filter,
Mm.
and you also know the ACP.
Mm.
After this, only file and AMP comes here,
Mm.
and then transition, and then only the packets are sent out. So
Mm.
this picture may confuse. That's why here I have made it very simple for you.
Mm. Mm.
Traffic comes, pre-filter, ACP rule matches.
Mm.
IPS also does the
Mm.
screening packet level.
Mm.
Then comes the file extraction.
Mm.
Again, why extraction word is used? What if it is encrypted? So file need to be
Mm.
decrypted. Only then it can have a visibility down inside, and then a hash lookup. In
Mm.
case if local cache don't have any match, then it will go to
Mm.
cloud.
Mm.
All right, then it will decide whether to allow or block. After this only comes QoS. Right,
Mm.
that's the flow.
Mm.
Traffic is entering, pre-filter happens, ACP rule, then IPS, then this AMP comes.
Mm.
All right, so note that file check happens after ACP allows.
Mm.
Okay, now what file can FTP inspect? FTP can inspect HTTP,
mm,
HTTPS if it is decrypted,
mm,
FTP, SMTP,
mm,
SMB, all this. So without SSL decryption, HTTPS file cannot be inspected. So very important is
mm,
we need to write a decryption policy for HTTPS. So we should tell the
mm,
firepower, if you find HTTPS traffic,
mm,
decrypt.
mm,
Next, how FTP identifies malware. When a file passes, FTP extracts file
mm,
and then calculates the SHA-256 hash, which is very strong actually,
mm,
and then sends a hash to the cloud. Very nice.
mm,
This is exactly every vendor does, not only this Cisco FTD, even Palo Alto does the same thing. A file is
mm,
coming and it's a 0 day attack. It's not known before. So what
mm,
it needs is it needs to get an opinion from the cloud, AMP.
mm,
Because in local you may not have an information about that file because it's new, never seen before.
mm,
If it has got locally, then you no need to send to cloud.
mm,
See here, it is written very clearly: local cache or AMP
mm,
cloud.
mm.
That's where the hash is checked.
Oh, sir, one question here. So, if you just go with little bit above, the file categories, little bit above, sir. So here we have HTTP, HTTPS. So how about like a PDF or a Word or
If the cloud says clean, then it will allow. If the verdict is clean. If the
mm,
cloud verdict is malware, then FTD is going to block.
mm,
If the cloud verdict is unknown, you have an option whether to allow it or block it.
mm,
If it is the first time, there are chances that even cloud also may say, I've not seen this
mm,
first before. This is the first time.
mm,
Now it is the administrator's call. If
mm,
administrator wants to reject it, yes, he can say, I want to reject unknown.
mm,
But what if it's a good traffic but is new type?
mm, mm, mm,
Then if administrator feels like that, I just want to try, give my try. What if it is good? Then he can go with allow. The
mm.
default is allow.
Okay.
Unknown default is allow. Okay, next. File policy actions. So inside the file policy, you can define malware means block, unknown means detect or block, clean means allow. See the extension type.
Mm, mm,
If I want to block the .bat, .es execution
mm,
files,
mm,
I can say, and then I can also say limit the size of the file. If file size is seen
mm,
bigger than this or smaller than this,
mm,
uh, block something like that. 1 minute, sir. Um, let's see some use case.
mm,
If I want to deny these things, then I can match these file types and say block
mm,
based on the extension. Similarly, if I want to check for PDF and DOC for
mm,
malware, and then if it is clean, allow. If I find something inside the PDF, I can block.
mm,
That's another example. So that is inside the file. We look into the inside the file.
mm,
Unknown file from internet. I can make the action to be block,
mm, mm,
and then we also need to make the decryption as mandatory, because
mm.
today everywhere you see only HTTPS
Yes, sir.
everywhere. So it's not good to allow the packet without decryption policy, so we have to decrypt. Without SSL policy, the user download malware from HTTPS, FTPC is only the encrypted traffic. So it's a
mm,
useless file policy now.
mm, mm, mm. Yeah.
So, uh, so this is where the engineers fail. It will take
Mm,
little extra time, but it is good.
mm.
So you note URL plus IPS plus file policy only works properly with SSL decryption.
Sorry.
Take care. Okay, next. Attaching file policy to ACP rule. This is very important. People forget this. After creating
Mm,
file policy, in the above 8 step, we were talking about file policy, different use case. But after creating all of them, you need to go back to the ACP which you already have, maybe from
mm,
internet to inside
mm,
or internet to DMZ. Go to the policy, open it, and click on edit that pencil symbol, and then say, uh, use this file
mm, mm,
policy which I created. Malware underscore block underscore policy is the one which you might have. This is just an example.
mm, mm,
Uh, we attach it. Already ACP rule is allowing if traffic is coming from that zone to going to this zone, blah blah blah, we have
mm,
done.
mm,
Even though that is allowed, if the file policy matches a traffic and say it is a
mm,
malware,
mm,
it won't be allowed.
mm.
All right, because of this allow, don't think it is going to be allowed. Only when this guy allows, this allow will
Mm,
work.
mm,
So that's why we need this. And then IPS we are going to see next, balanced
mm,
URL filtering enabled. So what is here they are trying to say is, you do this, sometimes you do this, but you don't do this thing. Better you do this one also. Means
mm,
file policy also, malware blocking also. That's what it means. Okay, now that's the important thing we have to attach. Like you
mm,
attach URL filtering, like you attach logging, like you attach IPS,
mm,
you also need to attach malware blocking or file protection. Now, what is called as trajectory or what it is actually trajectory? It is nothing but uh, going through the history,
mm,
visual record of file history, the movement of the file, the behavior, how it behaves across the network, and then taking a final decision. That is what called file trajectory means.
mm, mm,
AMP does file trajectory. So file trajectory is critical for investigating security incidents. It allows analysis to determine whether the file is malicious, how it entered the network, where it spreaded, and then enabling a quick remedy.
mm,
So it is just to keep a follow of the traffic
mm,
which
mm.
is allowed.
I think the same kind of analogy we saw somewhere else, in different module also,
No,
so I'm not,
AMP only we
not
saw.
able to read. Okay.
That is overall. When we say AMP, we were trying to differentiate between IPS and AMP on those days. So AMP
Yeah,
only I was telling
behavioral
this.
word. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Right,
this
right.
is that
Yeah,
behavior. This is
yeah. Okay.
we are in that AMP topic. All right.
Mm, mm, mm.
So how do
Correct.
you enable it? Go to analyze and files, and then say file trajectory.
Mm,
So when you enable this, you will be able to say who downloaded the file, from
mm,
which PC he downloaded, from which VRL it got downloaded,
mm,
file
mm,
verdict. Initially it was allowed, later it turned to malware
mm,
because the
mm,
behavior said after some time, it says, hey, it was beginning was good, but later it changed to
mm,
something else. So that is what file trajectory means.
mm, mm,
Now there is another terminology. Okay, this is post infection visibility. So before it gets infected, we are able to see. Now there is another term that AMP does. What is it? Retrospective security.
mm, mm,
What does this means? It's proact same, but it is more deeper. Analyzes the historical network data,
mm,
like yesterday and today. The difference between that file, same file which was allowed yesterday
mm,
and allowed today.
mm,
File
mm,
behavior log to detect, so logs to detect, investigate, to remediate threats, bypass initials, real-time defense. All this, what it means.
mm,
Look back in time. That's the meaning
mm,
of it. So this will help you to identify the root cause because you are
mm,
looking back the time
mm,
from
mm,
when some anomalies were seen. So you are able to see what might have cost, at what time it cost, scope, so on.
mm,
So today it was clean and it is allowed, but after 2 days, Cisco Cloud marks it as malware after going through the history,
mm, mm,
looking back on time. So FTP will give you an alert after 2 days when it is found as
mm,
malware, saying this host downloaded this file, uh, but right now it is not a good file.
mm,
So this is what called as retrospective alert.
mm, mm,
FTD has got it. Now, common mistake the engineers do, we don't decrypt.
mm, mm,
As a result, malware which is hidden cannot be
mm,
detected. File
mm,
policy not attached to ACP.
mm,
Then it is zero.
mm, mm,
It's of no use. So we have to attach it to ACP.
mm, mm,
Allows unknown file. Unknown file
mm,
allow is not good. Some ransomware will enter, meaning new
mm,
attacks.
mm,
Blocking all the file is also a problem because the business will break.
mm, mm,
So that is also a mistake
mm,
because we don't have the patient. We block
mm,
all the file. Okay, how do we verify? You can type show file policy in the CLI,
mm,
show malware in
mm,
CLI. These two commands are for AMP. If you
mm,
want to see the same on FMC in graph,
mm,
go to analysis and say files. Go to analysis and say malware events.
mm,
That's an FMC. Okay, now what is the difference between IPS and file policy and URL? URL is only website.
mm,
IPS is packet.
mm,
File policy is malware files.
mm, mm,
We need both. We need all three of them. Okay,
mm,
so this is just an example. You already have a lab.
mm,
Inside outside packet goes HTTP or HTTPS.
mm,
Allow plus IPS plus URL plus file policy. Yes.
mm,
Action allowed or denied. Guest
mm,
user, guest to definitely this is going to be allowed only.
mm, mm,
Guest to outside. Okay, it's going to get. It's going from guest to
mm,
outside. Block file block exe.
mm, mm,
Yes. Why is guest sending a exe file outside? So it should be blocked actually.
mm.
Something like
So
that.
this is only the outbound or even the inbound also, sir?
It's for inbound as well.
Okay.
What if someone is sending an exe file, execution file, which will create a network bomb,
Mm, mm,
a threatening, a simple spyware comes and get installed. It's in
mm.
all direction. You can see. This is
Okay.
just one example.
Okay.
For example, download.ex execution file will be blocked here
mm,
because
mm,
we said exe block, and then PDF will be allowed here because we did not mention about it.
mm,
Download malware test file block. That's just an example
mm,
I took from Cisco site. Okay, golden line. IPS stops attacks. File policy stops infections. Nice.
mm, mm,
We have seen this actually. User
mm,
wants to use the internet. ACP
mm,
is allowing,
mm,
but in the way what happens is IPS is checking, file
mm,
extra means AMP is checking, and then this also will block, though it is allowed in ACP,
mm,
because in the middle AMP result is blocked, which means it will be blocked.
mm, mm,
Even the end result says allow, but end it didn't go to end. It didn't go through.
mm.
Okay, you want to discuss about the interview questions, right? So, why file policy requires SSL decryption? Because malware will be inside.
Encrypted. Yes.
Difference between IPS and file policy. This is for packet. That is for the whole file.
Mm, mm.
Retrospective malware detection is for looking back on time.
Yeah.
Where do you attach file policy? AMP.
ACP, right? So
AMP. What did you say?
ACP.
No, ACP. Sorry, why am I saying AMP? Sorry, ACP. Access Control Policy. That's what actually I mean.
Mm,
Thank you.
mm.
Okay, ACP. How does FTP identifies malware? How does FTP identify malware? Just now we saw AMP.
Yeah.
All right. So file policy with AMP is an antivirus engine of FTD at the network level.
Mm, mm, mm.
File policy with AMP is the antivirus engine of FTD at the
Mm,
network level. Usually antivirus we see in application layer. This
mm,
is
mm,
doing similar deep dive even in the
mm,
network
mm.
level.